Right. So today's session is essentially about words that are slightly confusing that we sometimes use in an incorrect manner. So these words could be words that have the same spelling and same pronunciation but different spellings. So for that reason, those are called homophones. So those words, what we do is we interchange them and we don't know where to use them. Or these words that I'm going to use in these examples have different spellings, but for some reason they sound kind of alike, or there's just something that is confusing about them. And yeah, that is exactly what we will be covering today. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds really great, and I think it's pretty important too because when words sound similar, we tend to use them in a
Yeah.
very wrong manner, which is something
Yeah,
that
exactly what we're doing today. Yeah, it's super common, and that's exactly why we're touching upon it because everyone does this in our daily communication. And I would also like to point out for people who are watching, and if you're a new English learner, it would be very beneficial because someone who is used to the language of English could be speaking to you and you don't know what exactly they're saying. So you need to understand like what the context is when when you're speaking with these words. Also, guys, we are very open to questions. We're literally here, me and Ananya are literally here to answer your questions. So make sure you drop those down in the comment section as well.
right, as coach just told us, if you have any questions, don't feel shy because there is no wrong question. We talked
Of course.
about this in the last session, which I remember,
Yeah.
and that's about it. So I think let's start with the session. So I'm just going to ask you, coach, what exactly is the importance of knowing the difference between these words? Like, why is it so important?
Yeah. So English is not an easy language to learn. Um, for maybe me and you or people who are native English speakers, I think we touched upon this in one of the live sessions. Native English speakers are people who are born with knowing the language. So for people like us, it could be easy, but when you're a new English learner, it is a very complex language. So you need to understand that in this with this vocabulary there are different words that sound alike, that may have different spellings, but the context is different. So that is why we're doing this topic today, so you guys understand these different words and how to use it, and when someone is using it around you, you also understand them. It's just to help your communication overall. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So I think let's just get into it with the examples that you probably
Yeah, of
have
course.
prepared for us.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if anybody has any doubts or queries, they'll ask in
Yeah,
between.
if anyone has any doubts regarding the session or English communication, we are willing to answer them. Okay, so the first one is going to be something very simple. The word obviously. I think that's something that we all use. Do you use that word, Ananya?
I think I use it quite a lot because
Obviously, I use that word.
obviously, coach.
Yeah, even I do. And the problem is that the meaning of obviously is genuinely like something that is extremely obvious. Like the most obvious thing and the most literal thing is the meaning of all, obviously. But don't you think sometimes when we have our communication and we talk, we get carried away with that word? We just throw that word around like all the time. I think we're all guilty of that, right?
I
So,
think
right. So, when you are a new English learner and you understand the meaning of the word, obviously, and someone says it to you, please know that this person does not always mean that what you're supposed to know is obviously. Like, for example, if you say to me, "Oh, Koriki, did you buy those pairs of shoes?" And I say, obviously, what is so obvious about what I'm telling you? It's not a fact. There's no fact or there's no science behind anything that I'm doing. So why am I using the word obviously? So we need to understand that in different contexts and situations, these words change. Does that make sense? Yeah,
right, right, it
right.
does.
Yeah, so that should be kept in mind. The next one is just similar to this. I'm starting off easy. So the second one is also something easy, but it's because it's very common. The word literally. Yeah. Don't you think we say that all the time?
I think so, and I think the fact is that we use it without actually meaning it in its literal term.
Yeah, exactly. So when we say the word literally, it means like you said, when we say literally, we don't mean literally. You know what I'm saying? So what is so, but as a new English learner, this could be very confusing because we know the meaning of literally. It means when something is very literal and very obvious and as it is. But when we say it, we intend it in a way that we want to make sure the other person knows that we don't actually mean literally. So we're saying literally, but we don't mean the meaning of the word literally, if that makes sense. It's very
It
complex.
does. I think
Yeah,
we many a times say things, in the sense that it is so literal, but
yeah.
when we actually put our mind into it, you're like, how can it be
Be
literal? That doesn't
literal.
make
Yeah,
sense.
so it's literal. And I sometimes when I look at the way native English speakers communicate, I actually feel like I cringe because I put myself in the shoes of new English speakers. Because the fact is that as a native English speaker, we kind of take the language for granted. We have a sense of comfortability with the language, so we play around with it. But when you're a new English speaker, you're learning one way and everyone is saying everything, and you're like, what is the right way? So that explanation of it's right, but it's wrong. Like you can't say it in an exam, but you can't, you know what I'm saying? So that is the thing that happens with the language. Does anyone have a question? Yeah.
Um, there's just a word certainly and question marks. So if you could just maybe elaborate on
Elaborate.
what exactly you're trying to ask, our coach will definitely give you an answer on that.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, genuine questions, we're here to answer them. Yeah, I feel like we're getting a lot of emojis and a lot of lot of vague comments, but we're not getting anything. No one wants us to explain anything.
I think you're being very obvious in your
Yeah,
no. Let's try to not use that
yeah.
word too much. You're being very clear with the way you're telling us things. So I think everybody is getting the grasp of it easily.
Okay, awesome. Okay, the next one is question three is, I mean, so the next thing word that we're going to talk about is ensure and insure. Ensure with an E and insure with an I. That is so confusing, even for native English speakers who are very fluent with the language. There is a little bit of confusion. Why do you think so, Ananya? Like, why do you think there is that confusion?
I think because they sound the same, and like there's the difference is just of I and E. So
Exactly.
it's easy to get confused between these words.
And these two letters, like the pronunciation of these two letters, are also so similar to each other. So it's very easy to confuse. Another thing that I believe why people get confused is because at first people just use it wrong, you know? So when we learn the wrong thing, we're going to start. So it's like a big chain. But ideally, the two have different meanings. The first one, ensure, which is spelled with an E, means when you're like when you're making sure that something is happening. Like I'm ensuring that you're going to be safe, for example, or I'm ensuring that I will cook dinner, something like that. Like I am saying for sure that this is going to happen. But ensure is a word that we don't usually use very often. But it basically means when we are giving some sort of a monetary compensation for an unfortunate event. We insure it. Like we insure our, like, could you think of something that is related to the word insure?
I think we insure our home, our car,
Exactly.
our vehicles, all that
So
comes
it's like
under
an
it.
insure when we apply for insurance, what we're doing is we're making sure that, these assets are they're safe with us. So yeah, that will be compensated for. So that's why these two things get very confused. Okay, I think there's a question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just put the question up.
Yeah.
So the question is that our learner is asking that he understands the accent that we speak in our country in any speed, but he finds it difficult to understand the accent of native English speakers. So I think
Okay.
maybe American and British accents are difficult to grasp.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
what could be the way around that?
Okay, yeah. So I feel like this is something that I also struggle with. Like, For example, if I'm watching a show on Netflix or whatever it is, there are, people from outside India, I would say, like, as you said, Americans, Britishers who their speed might be completely fine, but the way they pronounce is difficult. I think the way around this is subtitles. That's what I personally do because yeah, I think it's subtitles. And when you travel, I feel like when you travel and you stay in other countries for a long time, you understand the accent. You also pick up on the accent. You understand the pronunciation. But as an Indian, if you're struggling with a foreign accent, subtitles. No one is asking you to like develop the accent or anything like that. You stick to your own accent if you just want to understand, just subtitles, lyrics, subtitles, whatever it is.
And
Yeah.
I think if you're going abroad or something like that,
Hmm.
asking somebody to, maybe slow down or something, that for somebody who's not understanding, that
Of
shouldn't be
course.
something that they should be scared
Of
to ask,
course.
right?
Of course, of course. I think whenever we travel, it doesn't matter if you're in the same country, different state, everyone has a different accent. And there's when people from abroad come to India and we speak, there could be people from France, Europe, whatever it is. They come here and they don't, let's say they don't know English. Okay. They only know French. They also say, oh, we don't know English. Can you try to communicate in any way? So it works both ways. If you go abroad, please ask them to stop, say, I don't understand what you're saying, etc. Yeah.
And I think if you have any other queries relating to the language or something like that, you can just drop us a DM on
Yes.
Alpha Code, and our team will get back to you. We have customized packages that we make specially to, cater to your needs and goals. So just feel free to drop us a DM, and all your queries will be solved. Coach,
Yeah.
we have another question. Can you differentiate between efficiency and effectiveness?
Of course. All right. That can be confusing. That's a very good question because some people do confuse. Efficiency is something that we do at a pace. It's more pace related, pace in the sense that time related, speed related, if that makes any sense. Efficiency would be if I'm, for example, if the goal is to finish something fast and I'm doing it in a fast pace or doing it quickly, I'm being efficient because the goal says you need to be fast. Okay? Effectiveness is how effect if you're doing anything, it doesn't have to be time related anything. If you're doing something that is beneficial to the goal, that doesn't mean time related, speed related, nothing. If you're doing something that is beneficial and something that has made a difference, that is positive, you are doing something effective. Those are the differences, if that makes any sense. Yeah,
I think it does. We have a follow-up question to the
of course.
previous question.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, accent matters. Does that matter more, or does the understanding of the language matters more?
Yeah, I feel like Ananya, we've answered this question so many times, and it comes up, and I will say the same thing that I always say. Your accent does not matter. Your pronunciation matters. Your body language matters. Your vocabulary matters. Stick to the accent that you have. The second that your pronunciation is defined and it is understandable, your accent will shape on itself. Like there's no reason to switch your accent around or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay, so what's important is actually speaking in a grammatically correct way, and
Yes. Exactly.
pronunciating the words correctly, right?
Exactly. Exactly. There's no need to turn your accent around or anything like that. I know the trend says so, guys, but that's not what the right answer is. Okay. So
All
we
right,
don't have any
we
questions. We
have
can move
another
on. Oh,
question,
we have.
coach.
Okay, great.
Um, it's what is the difference between aim and goal? Are they like synonyms, or are they different words with
Oh,
different
that's a
meanings?
good question. Okay. Aim and goal. Okay. To me, now I could be wrong. A lot of people look at aim and goal as synonyms. Okay. That is true. But to me, when I think of an aim, it is something that is kind of like an idealistic view of something that you want to reach in the later future. Like that is my aim. Your goal is something that's a little short, like in terms of time period, it's a little short, it's a short time period which is more attainable. So that's my goal. Like my goal is to finish this in 5 minutes. But my aim in life, like for example, my aim in life would be to be successful, etc. I could be wrong, but that's my interpretation. A lot of people, like I said, English does not have one root. It's not science. It can be interpreted in various ways. Aim and goal could be synonyms in many websites, many articles, but it is my definition of aim and goal. So yeah. Okay. So I think we should get on with there's
Right.
lots of questions and comments. We will get back. Let me just finish this a little bit, guys. Okay. The next one is, I think this was the fourth one. This is advice and advise. There is a difference. It is very confusing. Um, so Ananya, what would you say is an advice that is spelled with a C?
I think it could be a suggestion or a solution to a problem that I am having, and I'm going to a specific person for their
Person.
advice.
Right. So advice that is spelled with a C is we go to people for advice when we have problems. That's your advice. That is the noun form of advice. So advice is a noun. Now, what is a verb? A verb is an action word. Okay. So when someone is advising you, it is S with a S. So that is the verb form. A lot of people get confused because you can't say my boss advised me. You can't say, with C, if we say advised, it's wrong. But if we say advised, it's right. So that's the verb form.
Advised with an S.
S is the verb form. So when someone is giving you advice, you can't say advice. You have to say advice. I've been advised to change my schedule. I've been advised to do this, etc. Okay, there's so many questions. There's so many comments and questions today.
Advice, simple. I advise you something. So is if I am to use the sentence like I will advise you this. So
Yes,
what word would we
I
use
will
for it?
advise you with S. But if you say I want to give you some advice, that's the noun word. So that's with C. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Even I was like, yeah, I get confused sometimes.
It's quite confusing, but I guess when you start learning it and you actually start applying it, it becomes routine. So you
Yeah.
tend to use it in the correct manner.
Practice makes perfect. It's just a fact. Like, guys, just practice and you'll get it. Okay. The fifth one is complementary and complementary. Now, when I say like complementary and complementary, it's so confusing because they both sound the same. I'm like,
Right.
you're probably thinking, why is she repeating a word again?
Right?
Yeah. So complementary with an E versus complementary with an I.
Okay.
Are you getting
Okay.
me? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is very confusing. Complimentary with an E. So what is that? Complimentary with an E is like I'm complimenting you, Ananya. You look so nice. I'm complimenting. I'm giving you a compliment. Or we can say these colors complement each other. It's basically when two things go together, or when I'm complimenting you, that will be with an E. Okay. Yes. Affect versus affect. It is something that I was touching upon. It's one of my things. I will explain it. And complimentary with an I. It's when you pay for something and you get something for free. So, for example, this is a complimentary bottle of champagne with a really nice hotel room, is what you usually get. A complimentary cheese sample, whatever it is. It's something after you buy something, you get this for free. This is your complimentary item. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Should I answer affect versus affect? Okay. Okay.
Our learners are also ready for a debate, but I think that is something that we can schedule for another
Yeah.
time
That's very
because
interesting, guys. That's very interesting.
that's like a really great idea. We can, keep a session around that
Yeah,
because if
yeah,
the audience is that engaging, it's going to be quite interesting.
yeah.
Um,
Okay,
but I
so
guess the
personal
question,
versus personal. That's another thing that I was going to talk about. That's crazy. Okay, okay. Let's just finish it right now. So, affect versus affect with an A versus affect. Affect is like visual effects, sound effects, things that are coming out of like your videos. This is the effect of it. Like
okay,
this is the impact of this sound, if that makes sense. Affect with an A is how you're feeling, like I'm affected by this. Something personal. When something is happening to you, you're not affected. You're not with the E. That's not, it's a, okay. The one with the E is a visual effect, a sound effect, something that's coming out of a technology, or the effect that um, you could also say like the effect that the movie has. But if I'm getting affected by someone else, a human being is feeling something from someone else, that is AFFECT, affect. All right? It's the emotion, the feeling. Personal versus personnel. This is also, it can be confusing, not with spelling, with pronunciation. Like some people's accents might say personal, like personnel, vice versa. It could be, it could be that way. So personal is something that is, personal means something that is mine, something that I keep to myself. Like, for example, our feelings are personal, our secrets are personal, right, Ananya? And what would you say is personnel?
I think the s-
Staff.
it does it the
Yeah,
staff, the
the
human
staff
resource, all
member,
that.
exactly. So, like for example, if we're working in an office, our employees are personnel of the office. They are a part of the workers of the office, the employees. So yeah. Okay, there are many questions. Um,
Um, Coach, I'll request you to just give a quick introduction about yourself because that is also something that our learners are asking.
a
Just
quick
let us know.
introduction.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Hi. How do I do this? Okay. Hi. My name is Kauriki. I'm only 18 years old. I just graduated high school. I'm currently a coach at Alpha Board, and I currently teach communication, English communication. And yeah, everyone, if you guys want to, have do regular classes with me, you should definitely sign up with Alpha Board, and we can, do some very effective English classes. So yeah, that's all. I get awkward when people ask me to do that.
But that was a question, so I just put it out there.
Yeah, yeah, of course, as you should, yeah. All right. So let me just finish the one that we prepared, and we'll answer these questions because there's so many. Okay. Next one is flare and flare. Same thing, same pronunciation. Now, Ananya, I'll put you to the test. Okay, I'll give you a sentence.
Okay.
You tell me which one it is. Remember, flare and flare are homophones. They have the same pronunciation but different spelling. Okay.
Right.
So, there was a flare in her eyes. Which flare is it?
FLARE.
Yes, correct. So, as you guys know, there are two flares. There's FLARE and FLAIR. Okay. So FLARE, like Ananya says, when we see a dramatic sentence like there's a flare in her eyes or something like that, it basically means like a spark of light. Um, Obviously, this sentence has a more symbolic meaning, but ideally, it's just like a spark, a light, a flare of light. Okay. Um, like a torch flare is another example.
Right.
Now, what is flair? FLAIR. It's not very commonly used. Um, this could be an expression. Everyone says she has a flair for fashion design. So when we
Right.
use FLAIR, it means like, oh, she has an eye for fashion design. Like she knows fashion design. She has good taste. Is would be a way of saying this phrase. So yeah.
Like
Uh,
just saying that that person is really good at it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Someone who has, intuition about it. They have that flair, for fashion design. The last one that I want to touch upon is something, they're three words. So this is a little different. I thought the last one we'll do with a bang. They're three words. So the three words are simply sight. Okay? Sight. Sight has three forms. Okay? Can you, I'm sure you know one of them. I'm sure you know all, but can you give me one of the three sights?
I know two.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I'm sure.
SITE
Yes,
and
correct.
SIGHT
Right. So, SITE
and
is like
CITE.
correct. All three, all three, all three. SITE is like website, Google site, when we talk about yeah, just simply just a website, we call it either website or site. Okay, do a site search example. Okay, site SIGHT that Ananya said was sightseeing. It's like when we look at a site, like we also call pieces of land sites, right? When there's just empty lands without any building, we call it sites. Or when we're going for like sightseeing, we call it SIGHTE. The third one is cite, CITE. That's when you cite a source. That's when you look for sources. Like let's say you're writing a paper, you're looking at an article, you're trying to um, you take your information from somewhere and you put it into an article or a paper. You're supposed to cite the source. You're supposed to say, okay, credit the source. This is where I got it from. All right? Yeah. So these are the ones. Uh, there are so many questions. I think we need to be a little selective
I
on
think
this.
let's take this one.
So Ananya,
Sta-
you pick the ones. You pick the questions
I've
and we'll
already
answer.
chosen one. It's
Okay, okay, okay.
stationary versus stationary. So stationary with an A and stationary with an E.
Okay. So stationary with an A is basically when someone is paused, like they don't move. That is stationary. You can say the car is stationary. It's something that you learn in physics. I don't have that inclination towards science, but I know that you learn this in physics. That's when the car is stationary. It means you're not moving, you're stationary. The one with an E, stationary, um, is your pencils,
Pen,
your pens,
pens.
your erasers, things that you buy, paper, all of that is stationery that you use. Any other questions? I think there's one big one. What are the key factors to achieve?
Depends. Okay.
What are
I
the
think we talked about goals, but
hmm
that was not what our session was around.
Yeah.
That
Uh,
is something we can take up some other time.
right.
We can
Abhinav,
take one more.
we'll take that up another time. Yeah, let's do one more. I feel like this has been such an interactive session with so many questions.
Right. And we
Yeah.
have one learner who's very, enthusiastic in asking the questions. So
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sweet.
I think there's one defense with a C and defense with an S. So is it the
That's a
same
very good
like
one.
and advice?
That's a very good one. Okay, it's just defense and defense. Okay, there are two types. The first one is in my defense, and there's in my defense and the defense force. Okay, so in my defense would be DEFENC. No, that's defense force. I'm confusing myself. No,
Defense
defense
and
force is with
force,
C.
right?
With C, yeah. Yeah, the defense, the army, the police force, there are defense. So, CE, sorry guys, I got confused. Look,
I
exactly.
think that's
English
really
speaker.
okay. But
Yeah,
you still got the difference right.
yeah. And
That's
that
fine.
there is a very a big difference. And in when you say in my defense, it's with an S. And yes. What you need to make sure is when you say defense, it's defense. That's your pronunciation. When you say defense, it's kind of like in my defense. You know what I'm saying? So there is a little bit of a difference in the two. So yeah, please keep that in mind. Last one I'll do because I feel like a lot of people get confused is, and after this, guys, we're wrapping it up because we've had such a great interactive session. Um, Okay, he is okay. So the last one is gray versus gray. Gray spelled with an A and GREEY. It's the same word. Okay, it's the same word. It's just the language. The American version of gray, the color gray, is GRAY, and the British version slash Indian version is GREY. It's up to you on what you want to use. So, yeah, Nanya, I think this has been a very great session. What do you think?
I think it was quite informative, and
Yeah,
we still have so many people asking so many questions. So, guys, if we start, actually implementing what we learned today, you'll just come to know that there were so many words. Just type it on Google, and you're going to come up with a list of it all. So,
of course.
consider this a bit of an homework. So, if
Yes,
we, not answer the question due to some reason or another, just
mm,
try to look it up yourself, and you'll be amazed to see what the difference is. So I
yes,
think, coach, you answered quite a lot of questions that were very common, and I
yeah,
think in our lives we also have had made these mistakes in the past. So
Of course,
now
I
maybe
made a
we are
mistake, guys. I'm the best example of making a mistake between the two. When you don't come across the word for some time, your brain might get into like you forget for a second and you're like, one sec. So that's why we did this session today. Yeah,
So now you'll have a more, you'll have a clearer understanding of the difference, and I think that is going to help you, become a better speaker. So
yes, of
whatever
course.
you've been taught today by our coach, just try to practice it on your own as well, and you're going to see the difference when you actually start using these words.
Of
So
course.
I think that was it for today's session,
Yeah,
and I think that today's session was very interactive, which is really good. We love it when the audience interacts with us.
of course. Yes.
So, Coach, I'm just going to thank you for this amazing session,
Thank you
and
so much.
I hope when we meet next week, the session is going to be this interactive and this fun again.
Yes. Thank you so much, guys. Please follow Alphaboard, and we are off. See you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Coach.
Bye.